Hi friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. My channel is all about succulents and cacti, my balcony garden, and houseplants in an apartment setting. And today I'm going to have something a little bit different for you. Normally I would share with you a new haul, new plants that I got, or plants that are doing great, my favorite plants of the month, plants that are growing a lot, things like that. But I decided to switch it up a little bit and show you 5 plants that I'm struggling with right now, that are not doing well, that are ready to be pitched if they don't, get back in line. So let's get to it and I'll show you what I've got. Now, plant tubers or plant parents that are on YouTube sometimes have the image of that everything grows for them. They have a green thumb, plants never die for them, everything looks perfect. It's not true. Trust me, it's not true. We have plants die on us just like everybody else. It's absolutely normal. It's nothing to be ashamed about. And for a while there, I was ashamed or embarrassed to share what had died, what wasn't doing well. And especially when plants have certain plants have the reputation of being easy plants to take care of, and you've killed it. What does that say for you? Well, it says that you are human. That's all it says. Plants may not be happy in your particular environment. You may not have the atmosphere or the lighting or the humidity that particular plant needs. And that's okay. That just probably means, that plant may not be one that's in your collection, or you're going to have to do the extra effort to make the environment for that plant if you really, really want it, by lighting, humidifiers, grow tents, all of that stuff. And it's up to you, to the lengths that you want to go to have that plant survive. Now for me, I don't go to too many lengths. If it survives in my environment, it survives. If it doesn't, then I have to really look at, am I going to buy that plant again? And some of these, if it doesn't make it, that's it. I'm not buying that plant again. Calatheas is one of them. You won't find a calathea in my, except maybe the Marantas. Those are the only ones. But like the other calatheas, I'm not buying them anymore because I realized that I just can't take care of them the way they need to be taken care of. So enough of my jabbering. Let's get to it. Now this one is an Aglaonema, Lucky Red, which, this gal ain't so lucky, because it came in a 2-inch pot and it had 3 leaves. It's down to 1 now. I had it in a 4-inch pot, terracotta, out in the living room, and the leaves started yellowing and falling off. And when it got down to 1, I changed out the soil, looked at the roots to make sure nothing was going on there, and it wasn't. And I brought it in here into my grow light to keep a closer eye on it and to see if it just switching up the conditions may help. Now, I have a lot of Aglaonemas, and they're one of my favorite genuses to have and take care of because they are, for me, easier to take care of. Rosie? Look at your hair. Are you done? And so when this one had started having trouble, I was like, okay, what's wrong with it? Normally, this is the only one that I bought that's this small. And normally I buy them bigger, 6-inch, more robust already. So that may be one reason that I was treating it like a bigger plant when it's a little plant that needs a little bit more tender, loving care. So I'm hoping that this one, with its 1 leaf, the roots are still good, it will come back. And I have it here under a grow light to give it a little bit more light because I don't think it was getting enough light in the living room. So I'm hoping that this one will come back. But this is one that's struggling right now. Now the next one, I also bought in a 2-inch pot from, this one came from Actually, they came in the same order from Hertz Garden, the Aglaonema and this Philodendron Moonlight. And I do like to buy smaller plants, one, because of the price, two, because I do like to see them grow. But this Philodendron Moonlight, from the beginning, has been struggling. And I've checked the roots. There doesn't seem to be anything really, let's see if I can get it to, really wrong with it, or the roots. But look at those leaves, and the one coming out is died already. You know, and I got this a few months ago, so it should have been looking a lot better. I'm not sure what happened to it or what's wrong with it. I do see a little tiny growth right there. So I'm not completely giving up on it. If it doesn't make it, this one I will buy again, but I will buy a bigger one to give it a little bit more of a chance, because the Philodendron Moonlight are becoming a little bit more available now, so it'll be easier for me to find one. But this one hopefully will snap out of it and do some growing. And like I said, I do see a small little growth point there, and I'm thinking that these other leaves I may need to cut off just to give the plant some relief of not having to send energy to these leaves that are not gonna make it. So Philodendron Moonlight is on the struggle bus, and it has a passage for quite a while. It's not intending to get off anytime soon. Now the next one, you've seen me struggle with these before, and if this one doesn't make it, I'm not buying any more. My Syngonium. And this one was a smaller one. I never got the actual full name of it, but I do believe it's from the Illusions line of Syngoniums. And I don't think it's Berry Illusion, it's something else. So this one, it has been struggling since I got it. I got this one, I think, at Trader Joe's. And it has leaves growing inside, but they die off very soon and they get brown, and I've moved it around. I put it by the humidifier. I've given it more light, less light, and I had the exact same problem with the Syngonium white butterfly. Now I do have a Syngonium Maria, which is a dark maroon leaf color that I have no problem with. She's doing great, and she's in the living room in the east facing window. So I don't know if it's just the lighter leaf color doesn't like my environment and the darker leaf color does, but if this one doesn't make it, I'm not buying any more Syngonium. Now the funny thing is that on my wish list is the Syngonium albo, which I have heard is more tolerant, more and hardier of a plant than these types of Syngoniums. So I'm hesitant to buy that one, because that one is not cheap. Even for just a little cutting that's rooted with 2 leaves on it, it's $50, $60. So I'm hesitant to buy that Syngonium with the experience I've had with these Syngoniums. Now this type I won't buy again if this one doesn't make it. So there you go. And I have heard other people say, Syngoniums, they're easy. Yeah, right. I'm not buying them anymore. So there you go. It's easy for some people, not so easy for others. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Now, let me take the yellow sticky strip out of this one. This Hoya, Cumingiana, also called the bush Hoya. Yeah, bush Hoya. You probably remember this one when I repotted it and staked it on a trellis, and it was a full, lush Hoya. Well, this is what's left of it. The leaves started to yellow and fall off. The stems started to get, and this one I can see it's already happening, it started to get woody. you know, it would lose that green fleshy tone and would start getting woody. And I can see this one is dying. So the only one left is this longer one. When I saw that happening, I took it out of the pot, took the trellis off, threw away the bad wooden dead stems, and put it in this smaller pot and put it in the window here, east-facing window. It stopped dropping leaves, but I can see that this one is already dying and this one is the only stem left. I don't know what happened to it. I have heard that Hoyas don't necessarily like to have the roots messed with and repotted. So maybe I agitated the roots too much when I did repot it. That could be it. I'm not giving up on this one though. I'm going to try and save it with this cutting that's left. I may be able to propagate the top portion of this cutting because the woodiness doesn't go all the way up. So I think the top portion here may be salvageable in water propagation. We'll see, I'll try that. But this Hoya Cumingiana is not an expensive one, so I can try and find another one. I got this one at Plant Stand of Arizona, so they may get them back in stock. So this one is one I will buy again, but I've learned a lesson on not to be too rough on Hoya roots because I think that's where I failed. And, you know, the plant got really stressed out. So, because I don't think it was the lighting or anything like that or the type of soil it had. It's just that I was maybe too rough on this, on the roots, and that's what stressed it out. So this Hoya Cumingiana is struggling, but I'm not giving up on it, and it's gonna, hopefully, you know, I can salvage what's left of it. We'll see. Okay, so my last one hasn't come out of dormancy. This is a Plumeria. And I got this in the summertime. It was nice green foliage, beautiful. And my mistake with this one was that I didn't read the tag. And I didn't see or do more research too, that plumerias, kind of like desert roses, go into dormancy starting in the fall into straight through the winter. So the leaves, I put it outside because it does do well in heat. The leaves started dropping and dropping and dropping until it was like this. So then, you know, a subscriber gave me the information, well, you know, it's just in dormancy, don't water it until February, late February, and it'll start coming out of dormancy. Okay, so I did that. I let it sit through the winter, protected it, brought it inside because it was getting real cold, and waited and waited, and it did start to give off these tiny little leaves there, and it's not squishy or weird color. I did take it out and look at the roots and put it in the smaller pot, thinking, okay, maybe it needs a smaller pot. And I put some worm castings on it to see if it needed some nutrients. And I'm just waiting now for it to come out of dormancy. And I feel like it should have been out already, in that the little leaves that it is giving out don't seem to quite completely develop. So I'm hoping that it will come out of dormancy and not die on me. I'm being real careful on the watering, not to overwater it. So if anybody has a Plumeria out there, you can give me some advice. Maybe there is a special fertilizer that I can give it to kind of kick it into, you know, blooming or growing foliage, rather, not necessarily blooming, but growing the foliage that it has. So this Plumeria is one that I really do want to save and see, you know, if I can keep it through its life cycle of blooming and everything, going into dormancy and then coming back again, because, you know, It's beautiful. I'm having kind of the same issue with my desert rose, my adenium. That one is starting to show signs of leaves, but it's taking a while. And you know, maybe that may be the case, that I'm just too impatient of wanting them to come out of dormancy, and they just need a little bit more time. We're in the middle of March right now. Maybe they need a little bit more time, a little bit more sun, a little bit more heat, because they are more heat-loving plants, to come out of dormancy. So there they are. Those are plants that are right now on the struggle bus for me. Some of them I've learned from what I have done, you know, in their care, that I feel was the problem and won't do again, and trying to recuperate them. Some of them I just don't know what's wrong with them, and I'm over it, you know, and that's okay. You know, if a plant doesn't bring you joy anymore, you shouldn't feel compelled or guilt of having to keep it, you know, gift it to someone, or if it's really, really struggling, you know, pitch it. So hopefully your plants are doing well, and don't be ashamed if they are not doing well and they're struggling or they're dying off, because, you know, I get a lot of comments all the time. Oh, your plants look so good, they're doing so well and everything. Not all the time, and that's why I wanted to show you these in full transparency, that I struggle too sometimes, and you know, I need to get over the fact of being embarrassed or ashamed of that, you know, plants do die sometimes, and we shouldn't be afraid to say that or ashamed of that, okay? So that's your pep talk for today. Go out and have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye, friends.